Hello, Alexander. What's up?
Hello. Okay. Everything.
Everything's fine. Nothing much. Where you've got something to tell me? What's up?
Nothing much today.
Nothing much today. Well, if I'm not mistaken, you said the same stuff yesterday, so you should say something new. Hello.
Hi,
How are you feeling today?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm fine. Okay, thank you. Are you tired? Are you swamped with work?
I swarm at work? No.
You're not?
Today I'm not swarm at work.
Okay.
I'm only swarm on the. It's very hot. I'm swarm on
I'm
a
swamped.
hot.
I'm swamped with the heat.
Yes.
I'm swamped with heat. Okay, so you don't have much work to do now. I mean, today. Yeah.
Not much. Yes.
Okay, I see. I see. We've got a new student here. What's your name, Mr. Logan? Or I don't know. Who is that?
Mr. Ninja.
Mr. Ninja. So, would you introduce yourself, please? Or you gonna listen, just not talk today? Hello to you, Mr. Hey.
Not.
No reply. Okay, we'll wait. Maybe the person will reply later. So, Alexander, you said nothing much, but I told you yesterday that I'd like to hear some news, something. Like yesterday, you told me about the rain. Did it rain today?
No. Today it's not raining.
Today it's not raining, and today it hasn't rained. Okay, so what else happened today in your life?
In my life.
Or maybe just in the city you live, or in the world, maybe you heard something interesting. Or something not very interesting, but still something good. By the way, Alexander, do you work? Have you got a job?
Yes, I have a job. I work.
And where do you work?
Sorry.
Where do you work? What's your job?
I work as a driver.
Okay, as a driver. So did you drive today? Did you work today?
Yes, I
did.
I drove today.
Okay. By the way, when you drive, that you are a driver of a truck or of a taxi driver? What kind of driver are you?
I drive light car.
Okay. So, but what is the purpose of your driving? Do you work on your own, or do you work for somebody?
I work for a company. I drive my people who work in my company.
So you take people to the place of work?
Yes.
I see. Okay. And when driving, do you talk to your passengers?
Yes, of course, I talk with my passengers sometimes.
Maybe it happened on, I don't know how to say, right? On English.
It was.
Does it happen to you to speak English to your passengers?
I have a couple experience to drive foreign people.
Okay.
And I spoke with them in English.
I spoke English with them.
Yes, I spoke English with them.
Great. So what did you talk? What did you talk about with them?
We spoke about everything.
About everything.
Yes, about weather, about people in our different countries. About.
I see. Well, did you start the conversation, or it was them who started the conversation? Who started the conversation, you or them?
I started conversation because I wanted to practice English. Yes.
I see. Cool. That's nice. Okay. So were they friendly enough to speak? Were they friendly, communicative, social?
Yes. Yes, they was. they were interested in communicating.
You can say they were interesting to talk to.
To talk to.
I see. Okay. And were they American or British, or maybe Australian?
One was American, other was British, and there were people from Germany.
Germany, okay. And did you practice your German with them?
Yes, yeah. I practice English with them.
I see. I see. Did they learn you any German?
No, I know.
Maybe. Yeah. Did you teach you any German? Sorry to. No.
No.
I see. Okay. And what was more interesting or easier to understand, American English or British English for you?
For me, I think
both were okay.
American
English?
American English was more understandable.
Was more understandable for you. Okay, I see. So you've got such an experience of talking to native speakers, and you were talking about different stuff like weather, people, and so on and so forth, the difference between countries. Good. And when did it happen?
It happened 2 years ago.
2 years ago. I see. Okay, good. So what about our new guest, Logan? Are you with us or not? Could you say something or write anything? Just react in some way. No.
Very often the people don't know how they named their profile, and we have not. I don't know.
What do you mean? People don't know the name of their profiles.
You see Logan, but the name of this person may be Vasa.
No, I know, but well, I don't know the name of the person. That's why I call the person the way I can. You got just one.
But they don't remember.
Okay. Anyway, okay. I guess the person can hear us, but the person prefers not to reply. Okay. That's the right of the person. And Alexander, you prefer to hide yourself as well. Okay, I'll do the same way. Just a second. Let me do the same thing. How should I do that? I should close my cam like that? Okay. So, is it okay now? So everyone will hide. Okay. I will let myself in so everyone sees that I'm here. Good. Logan, see, someone there is you. You put a question to Mr. Logan. Well, I don't know why the person keeps silent. Okay, so today we're gonna talk about how to tell a story. And actually, our lesson will be, I hope, rather interesting because I prepared for you again a kind of a podcast prepared by two brothers Americans, and they will talk about a job interview. Have you ever been at the job interview, Mikhail?
Have you ever been? Yes, I was on job interview. Maybe two. I don't know, two.
Twice.
Twice. Okay.
I have been to a job interview twice, only twice.
Yeah.
Twice. And what was the most unpredictable and more surprising question during those two interviews, job interviews for you?
I know all question what the HR asked me. HR is human specialist on human resources. Okay.
I haven't got the. So what was the question? The most.
I don't know. It's all questions.
Quite normal.
It's not. How to say? It's not.
The questions were quite normal. They weren't extraordinary.
Yes, it's normal question. It's often asked by HR specialists.
Okay, they often ask the same questions. Okay, but I will change a little bit.
Maybe
What's the first question?
what question? It's a question about salary.
So they ask you what kind of salary you
I
get.
prefer don't answer to this question.
You didn't want to answer that question.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I see. What was the first question they asked you?
First question.
You remember that?
No, maybe about.
If you wanted some drink.
No, no.
Any drink. Okay.
I think it's about.
What was about?
It's the first. It's not question. It's short dialogue about the job proposition. Yes, and
anyway, well, of course, there is a kind of introduction, but afterwards there are some questions, list of questions. So, what was the first question in the list?
I think it was a question about your.
About my, you would say my.
About yes, about my last job, I think.
About your last job. So, where did you work? Where did you work before? Where have you been working before? I see. Okay, good. Alexander, do you usually feel comfortable at the job interview? Have you ever had job interviews? I guess you have.
Yes, I have.
Okay, and have you had many job interviews?
Yes, I have many job interviews, but I understood, but I remember not so much.
Okay, you don't remember much. Okay, I see. So it's something not very pleasant to remember about or remember over. Do you usually feel comfortable at the job interview, or you feel a little bit scared, nervous, stressed?
I think it depends on how much important for me this job.
Job is. I see. It depends on how much the job is important for me. Okay. Well, and have you ever felt very nervous during a job interview?
No, I think
not. Usually, you feel comfortable and you can control your emotions.
Yes, usually that's it.
Can you share a secret how to keep calm and not to be nervous during a job interview? A recipe.
I breathe deep.
I'm sorry? You breathe deeply, okay.
Yes. I keep my head
straight, like this?
Yes.
You keep your breath or you keep your head?
I keep my head.
You keep your head like this, like straight?
Yes.
I see. And, well, if a person is nervous already, so what would you advise to a person to calm down? What is the best way to calm down? Is it possible to, would you advise to take some pills to get...
Pills? Yes, I heard that my friends took pills before they pass exam.
And does it help?
Yes, and
yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Do you ever take pills to feel comfortable, to feel calm, not to be stressed? So it's not your. Do you ever take pills when you are nervous or something?
No, I
don't.
I just try to eat something tasty.
To eat something tasty. Nice.
Before I have
can you imagine a situation? Okay, so you are being interviewed, and just say, just a second, let me have a snack. You take snack and start eating.
No.
Second, give me 1 minute. I will eat Snickers and. Okay. No objections. Thanks. Okay, you can continue your questions. Now I feel comfortable.
I do it before job interview.
Okay, well, it's possible to eat something during the job interview as well, no?
Maybe.
Okay, it's possible. Well, that's a good idea to eat something tasty. What is tasty for you?
Chocolate tasty for me.
Some chocolate, some black chocolate, white or milk chocolate.
I like black chocolate, not sweet chocolate.
Not sweet. Wow, why not?
Or maybe milk cocktail.
Cocktail. Okay, nice. I see. Okay, thank you for your recipe. So not to feel nervous, not to feel to calm down. You would advise to eat something tasty, some chocolate or drink some cocktail, milk cocktail, not alcohol, not coffee, Mihail, just cocktail or some chocolates. So do you, Mihail, does it ever happen? Does it help you to feel more comfortable in a stressful situation when you eat something? Like you eat something and then you feel better.
I don't see the correlation with this. I don't think so. I think it's. I prefer to.
I prefer not to eat anything.
Not to eat, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
I think so.
So you should try. You should try to follow the. You should try to follow Alexander's recipe. So maybe it will help.
Maybe at the same time I try it.
I see. As for me, well, to eat something before something stressful usually disturbs me. I remember, well, when I eat something and then I have an exam or that worse, that happened to me several times. After that, I felt some discomfort in my stomach. It was especially when I had to stand or not to sit. I didn't have a possibility to sit down, so I had to stand for some time. And the fact that I ate before gave some discomfort in my stomach. So I don't know why, but this is how it happened to me. Maybe if I could just do and pass through the stressful situation at once, not to wait, because I hate waiting, and it often happens to me to wait for long. Do you like waiting, Alexander? Do you like waiting in whatever situation? To stand, to be waiting for someone? Do you like it?
I don't like waiting.
Who likes? I guess nobody likes. Yeah, but does it happen to you to wait for someone for long or for something? Sometimes we have no choice. We just have to wait. We cannot change the situation, like results, exam results, or I don't know, the phone call, and so on and so forth. So does it happen to you to wait for long?
Yes, of course, it happens sometimes.
And in this case, you also eat some black chocolate.
No, in this case, I try to do something. For example, to surf internet.
Yourself. Yeah.
Yes. What? Sorry.
To distract yourself.
Distract.
To distract yourself from thinking, from waiting. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I see. Okay. And does it usually help you to get distracted?
Yes, when I doing something, the time current faster. The time go faster.
Time flies faster. Passes faster. I see. Okay. Good. Mikhail, what about you? Do you like waiting?
Waiting.
Waiting for someone, waiting for something.
No, I think I don't like waiting.
Okay, but
I think 15 minutes it's normal.
it's normal, but not more.
50 minutes later.
You can wait for a person who is late just 15 minutes normal.
I don't know. It's зависит. It depends on who is this person.
Depends on who the person is. It depends on who the person is.
Yes, yes. And
no, come on. I will say it. It depends on who the person is.
It depends on who the person is.
But usually.
But usually it's 15 minutes.
And not more. Okay.
It's my reserve for people.
I see. Okay, but sometimes we have to wait not for a person, but sometimes we have to wait for something like a reply, a message, or SMS, a call, an answer, and so on and so forth. So in this case, you cannot limit something or someone in making you wait. So what do you usually do in this way, in this situation? When you really have to wait and you have no choice.
I try to make the answer himself. I know.
Oh, come on, just it doesn't always depend on you. Sometimes, for example, you have to get a result. Imagine you took an exam and you're waiting for results. So you cannot just say, okay, I have passed the exam. Come on, I don't care about the results. I know that I have passed it. That's it. So
maybe I think so.
I think that the answer is positive, but still it makes you nervous. You're not sure, and in this case, you eat some black chocolate.
No, I don't nervous when I how to say when I make and not make what when I do the exam. Yes. After the exam,
why should I worry?
Yes.
Well, but
I think
it's natural for people to be worried when they wait for results or when they wait.
No, I think after the exam it's not important.
It's not important. After the exam, it's not important. Well, it is because
you cannot change something.
Well, nothing. Well, you're being worried will not change anything. That's what you wanted to say, right?
Yes. Yes.
I see. Okay. Okay. Hello to Natalia.
Hello.
How are you feeling today?
Excuse me.
How are you feeling today?
I'm fine, thank you. Just came back from work a few minutes ago.
I see. Got a son there by your side.
Yes, he is. He's near me always. He's like my tail.
Okay. I see. Good. Is it the first time you are at class? I guess it is.
Yes, online first time, but I saw some lessons.
Okay, I see. So where do you come from?
Central part of Russia, Tula region.
I see. Okay. And what do you learn English for?
For pleasure. It's my hobby.
I see. Great. How long have you been English? How long have you been learning English?
I started to learn it at school some years ago. Then 10 years I don't use it. And then I found one program. Maybe you know, it's Nimbus. I have met Nimbus.
Okay.
I met many friends there. Maybe 3 or 4 years. I have conversation with them now.
Great. That's nice. That's nice. Okay, so today we're gonna listen to an interesting podcast about how to tell a story, and the story will be about a job interview. So I have been asking a question to guys about job interview. Have you ever been to a job interview, Natalia?
Yes, maybe 2 times.
Twice, you can say twice.
Twice a real job interview.
Okay. Okay. So Alexander asks you to write down the name of the program you used to make friends.
Nimbus. It was Nimbus. Now.
Can you type it in the right side of the or Alexander, please? he would be grateful, right, Alexander?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks,
This
Natalia.
program with like a Skype, but it has chat rooms.
Mm-hmm. Chat rooms. So did you only chat with people, or did you have a conversation via the camera?
You may call there. You can make call. I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe from camera, but from PC.
I see.
I use mobile usually.
Mm-hmm. Good. And where do your friends come from? I mean, those you practice your English with.
There are many countries: Syria, Italy,
Italy, Russia.
Russia, Iran, Iraq,
Okay.
India,
What about English-speaking countries?
England, and I have 2 friends from USA.
From the USA.
From the USA.
Okay, so nice. You've got a possibility to practice your English with them. Good. So you've been to a job interview twice, I guess. These were true job interview. How do you usually feel at the job interview? Do you feel nervous, stressed?
Usually it's normal, stress, but when started to talk, stress going out.
And stress disappears.
Disappears.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
What helps you to feel more comfortable at the job interview? What usually helps you to feel more comfortable?
One time I read in one book, if you feel fear,
If you are scared,
try to imagine the person near you, some funny without dress, with red nose, one way.
okay, so if you're still nervous, try to imagine a person without any clothes.
Any clothes? Yes, it was a good
Piece of advice.
Never try. Never try this.
And if it makes you smile, so the employer will think that you are a little bit weird. Why he is smiling? Why he should?
Really, if really it depends on the person who makes the interview, because they can make обстановка.
They can make some pauses.
Some pauses, people feeling more relaxable, maybe.
If when there are some pauses, people feel more relaxed. Okay, maybe. What is what is the most extraordinary question you have ever been asked at the job interview, Natalia?
I don't know, extraordinary. I heard here you discussed it about salary, yes? Salary.
Mikhail said that no, it was the first. Well, yeah, I guess Mikhail said it was the most extraordinary question, and if I'm not mistaken, yeah. So it was the question about salary. What about you? What the?
And one else about why we need you in our company.
About what?
Why do you think why we need just you in our company, not the person near you? Or somebody, yes.
Okay, prove that you are the best person to be chosen into our company. So why do we need you in our company? Okay, and what did you reply?
I think I will be useful for your company.
Okay, I see. Good. So before going to the interview, usually people usually prepare a resume. So do you always put the truth in your resume? Or sometimes you add some information that really doesn't correspond to the reality, Alexander. Do you always put the information that corresponds to the reality? Alexander, will you be so kind to reply, please?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
So the question is, do you ever put some false information about yourself in your resume?
False information?
Something that's really not about you. Just you want to make it brighter, more interesting, and more attractive for the employer.
I think yes, I did.
This question not for record. This is question. It's not for record.
For being recorded. Okay.
Yeah.
We are with here just, well, I don't think this animation is really so false, just small details, yeah? So what do you usually put something that doesn't correspond to the reality? What is that? About your hobbies maybe, or about your experience?
No, when I had interview, I have had a test with 600 questions, and I had to lie some.
You what?
I had to lie some questions.
I had to lie while answering some questions. While answering.
While answering.
Yes. Some questions. I see. And what questions did you lie about? If it's, you can say, it's not a secret, of course.
Oh,
what was it about?
It was about everything. About
everything. Just everything.
Yes, it's not a clever test, I think, but.
Okay, you didn't consider the test to be clever. Okay, so you had to lie.
There were so strange questions.
Okay, but it's a little bit different actually, because I was asking you about your resume. Do you ever put information in your resume?
I don't remember. Sorry.
Your curriculum vitae, you know? Curriculum vitae?
I don't remember.
You don't remember. So your resume is 100% true. I see. And talking about this test, how many? 200, 400?
600.
600 question test. Well, what was the most strange, weird question in the test?
Essentially, about
among those 600 questions.
About nightlife. about partners.
Private life.
Yes, private life.
Okay, so two personal questions.
Yes, two personal questions.
That was a bit much. Remember yesterday we had our class and there was an idiom. That was a bit much.
It was a bit much.
So there was a little bit too much to ask questions about personal life. I see. Okay, thank you. Mikhail, what about you? Do you ever put some false information in your resume?
I don't remember, but I read some articles when
I read. You mean?
I read some articles about this question, and 80% of 80% of person who apply for a job make
usually lie a bit.
Yes.
I see. But you are not included in this 80%.
I don't remember.
I see. Okay, Natalia, what about you? Do you ever put some false information in the resume when you apply for a job?
I prefer don't tell lie.
I prefer not to lie.
I prefer not to lie. If I don't want to say anything or write anything, I just putting it down.
I see. So you prefer not to lie. You prefer your resume to be true and not false.
Yes, to tell a lie in future, you will not. If you will be always say truth.
If you always say the truth.
If you always say the truth, you should not remember what you say last time.
If you always say the truth, I didn't get the second part. If you always say the truth,
you don't need to remember all your life.
I see. So people who lie should remember and keep in mind what they lied about, not to forget. And if you say the truth, so you just said it, okay, but you can forget. But the truth is the truth. I see. Okay, thank you. So now I will send you the link. We will listen to a podcast. First of all, let's listen to the record. then I will send you the link because I don't want you to read the first time. So I will play the records. Get your microphones muted, please. Okay. So get your microphones muted, not to have any noise coming from your rooms. Just a second, please.
Said thanks, but what about you? First thing he said to me, no, thought I would put it in interview. It was the worst experience.
Just a second, let me find the beginning of the story.
But to explain a whole situation that happened. It's easy to say maybe one sentence, but a whole story is
just a second. That's not the beginning.
Practice this.
Yeah. I think this one's pretty natural. So let's give it a go.
Okay, try it.
So now let's.
Yesterday afternoon, I went for.
So are you ready?
Yes.
Ready?
Okay, let's listen now. So the guy will tell us a story about the job interview. So try to listen carefully and to try to remember the way he tells a story, because today the title of our class is telling a story. So you could follow his example afterwards when telling a story about anything you wish. So let's get started.
Yesterday afternoon, I went for that job interview. It was the worst experience in my life. For some reason, I put on my resume that I could speak Japanese, which is a total lie. The job had nothing to do with Japanese, so I guess I just thought I would put it down to make myself look more well-rounded. I never thought that they would actually test me on it. It turns out that the guy interviewing me had lived in Tokyo for 8 years. His Japanese was great. The first thing he said to me was something in Japanese, which I obviously did not understand. I felt so nauseous. I had absolutely no idea of what to do, so I just replied in English, "Hey, your Japanese is pretty good." He said, "Thanks, but what about you? It says here on your resume that you can speak it." I said, "Oh? Now that must have been a typo."
So was it clear enough for you to understand it?
For me, it's not so clear.
It's not so clear, but did you understand at least anything?
I think I need listen it a second time, or I need some line. Okay.
We will for sure listen for the second time, but after the first listening, have you understood at least something, Natalia?
It's hard for me, really.
Okay.
Maybe. Is it British English or American English?
I think no, it's more American.
I think too, it's more American. I think the British is more understandable for me.
It depends. Different people say different things. Today, Alexander told us that he had an experience to talk to some passengers, because Alexander works as a driver, and once he had a chance to talk to British passenger, and another one was American. And for Alexander, it was easier to get to understand American English, basically, I got correct. Okay, but anyway, different opinions. Alexander, what about you? Did you get the record? Was it difficult? Was it not that difficult?
Yes, it was difficult. I need to listen.
Alexander, put your microphone down. No.
Yes, sorry. Yes, it was difficult. I need to listen second time.
We will. Okay, guys. Just tell me, what did you understand about it? So tell me a few words. So what was it about? What was it about? What did you get? Mikhail, what about you? Did you get it?
I think I hear last part. Well, it's about Japanese language. Yes.
About Japanese. That's it. So what was about the Japanese?
It's about the question about Japanese, about how they know it. They say they talk about how he know it. I don't remember the name of this person.
So the person applied for a job, and the person was invited for an interview, and the person in his resume that he could speak Japanese. So during the interview, he was asked if he could speak Japanese, but something happened. Okay, now I will send you the link. Follow the link, please. Get the file downloaded, please. And we will listen once again. You will be able to read it. And after that, we'll read some word combinations, some slang vocabulary, and discuss it. So get the file downloaded, please.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay. So are you ready to listen once again?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, what about others? Mikhail, Alexander? Yep.
I'm ready.
Okay, so let's get started. Oh, just a second, let me find the beginning of the story, because it's the whole podcast is kind of right alone.
It turns out that the guy interviewing me put it down the lie. For some afternoon, Yesterday afternoon, I went for that job interview. It was the worst experience in my life. For some reason, I put on my resume that I could speak Japanese, which is a total lie. The job had nothing to do with Japanese, so I guess I just thought I would put it down to make myself look more well-rounded. I never thought that they would actually test me on it. It turns out that the guy interviewing me had lived in Tokyo for 8 years. His Japanese was great. The first thing he said to me was something in Japanese, which I obviously did not understand. I felt so nauseous. I had absolutely no idea of what to do, so I just replied in English, "Hey, your Japanese is pretty good." He said, "Thanks, but what about you? It says here on your resume that you can speak it." I said, "Oh? Well, that must have been a typo."
So that's it. Is it more clear now when reading and for the second time?
Yes, it's more clear.
Okay, Natalia, what about you?
Yes, it's more clear.
It's more clear now. Good. Mikhail as well, yeah? So, as you could understand, here, where is it?
Вирусная база данных успешно обновлена.
Okay, sorry. So, I think, it's about a guy who, as I told you before, applied for a job and put some false information about himself. And then it turned out to be a kind of problem because the person interviewing the guy could speak some Japanese, actually could speak great Japanese. So the guy got in trouble. So how do you usually find a way out of the situation? If you are in a trouble, what do you usually do to get out of the problem, Alexander? So if you get into trouble and you have to cope with it, you have to find a way out. To find a way out means to find something that will help you to overcome the situation. So how do you usually find a way out of the problem?
Maybe I try
To lie.
to go on.
To go online.
Yes.
To keep online, like to say, no, that's true, come on.
I think about new false information.
Okay, you invent some new false, some new lies.
Yes.
I see. Okay. Are you good at doing this?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Sometimes yes, sometimes not. I see. Okay. Natalia, what do you think? The guy, when he replied, "Oh, it must have been a typo." You know what typo is? Typo? No?
Once again,
Well,
yes.
in our dialogue, so the guy got in trouble, so he just decided to do something to find a way out, and he said, "Oh, but hey, Joe, just a second, what was it?
Yes, I knew it yesterday.
I guess I haven't put the whole dialogue here since then, but what about you? It says here.
I think to not fall in the situation, prefer to tell truth, as I said before.
I'm sorry, the point is that I guess I didn't put the last sentence of the dialogue, and now I'm reading and I cannot see it. So the guy said it must have been a typo. A typo is a typing error. Use my line here. So it must have been a typo means it is a typing error, a typing mistake. For example, I want to put
I know. It's like, no, I don't know Japanese, I know French. I can speak French, right? This way.
Really? You can speak French? Can you speak French?
Me not. I'm not. I don't speak French.
Okay.
But it may one of the way switch on attention of interviewer to another point.
Yeah, that's right. But no, well, the person didn't speak any Japanese, and to explain why the person put it, the guy said, oh, it must have been a typo. A typo. I have put a book. So a book is a typo. I didn't want to write book, but just my finger slipped and I wrote typo book. So there is a typo, a typing mistake.
It's good luck typo to write Japanese.
Yeah, he said, I speak Japanese. It was a typo. That's what he says. And what do you think? Is it a good explanation? What would you do if you were at his place, Natalia? How would you explain your lie if you were him? Would you say the same? Oh,
I don't know.
You don't know?
I would say that it's T9.
I'm sorry?
I would say that it's T9. It's a function in mobile phones when we type T9. You know?
What is T9? I don't know T9.
T9 it's auto making words. You know, it's program when make you push some button with the letter and they make all word.
I see. Okay. Well, anyway, how would it explain the fact that a person put the false sentence "I speak Japanese"? Would it help to explain?
Usually this program work not
doesn't work properly.
Not very well.
Doesn't work properly.
Could you repeat?
This program usually doesn't work properly.
Okay, maybe.
Okay. So, but this guy, he tried to find a way out, and he said, "Oh, that must have been a typo." So now let's read some word combinations and some slang vocabulary. If you scroll down, you will find them. So some key vocabulary and phrases that are discussed in the podcast. So the first one is, Natalia, will you read out it, please? The second page. For some reason.
It's open now. For some reason.
For some reason. Read it out, please. Just read it. If you don't know why.
If you don't know why you did something, which was usually a mistake, you can say for some reason.
For some reason. So, for some reason, the guy put in his resume that he could speak some Japanese. It was a total lie. So, for some reason. Will you give us? Will you give me an example of any example that would start from "for some reason"? Hello to you, Luba. How are you feeling today?
Hello, Svetozar. I'm fine, thank you.
Okay.
I have some problem with connection, but now.
Okay, but I can hear you very well. I cannot see you, but I can hear you very well.
Okay, because I'm from phone now. I'm
see. Okay, you got a nice connection.
And it works really good.
Yeah, it does. It does. Okay, so Luba, we are discussing now a podcast. You could click on the link. You will get the transcription of their podcast. It's about a job interview. So, and the first expression we are discussing now is "for some reason." So, would you, I don't know, give me any example that would start from "for For some reason, I da-da-dum, or it can be the beginning of the second sentence of yours. Just give me any examples from your life, your situation, your experience, using the expression for some reason. Alexander?
Sorry.
I have been explaining the task, so now I'd like you to give me any examples with the expression for some reason.
For some reason.
Mm-hmm. If you have understood the meaning of it.
I didn't understand exactly.
The meaning of the expression for some reason. So in our podcast, the guy said, for some reason, I decided to put on my resume that I spoke Japanese, but evidently I didn't know any Japanese. So for some reason, the person even doesn't know why, but he or she did it, just like that.
Okay. If when I was a child, I was. If I did something bad, and somebody adult asked me, why did you do that? I answer for some reason.
For some reason, okay. I don't know, for some reason I did it. I didn't even think about the consequences. Okay, why not? Good. Okay, let's continue. Next expression. Luba, have you got the file downloaded?
Yes, I have. But what expression?
Well, now we'll pass to the second one. So I put on my resume another one. It's the second page.
Okay, second page.
And the expression starts from I put on my resume that.
Maybe someone else will answer. I look for.
Okay. Mikhail, can you read it out, please? I put on my resume that I could. Mikhail?
Alexander, please read it for me.
Okay, maybe Natalia will help us.
I put on my resume that I could speak Japanese, which is a total lie.
It's a total lie. Okay, Japanese, yeah.
Japanese.
Okay, and the explanation, please.
By saying it was a total lie, you are saying that it is completely untrue. In this case, you don't speak any Japanese at all. If it was a little lie, we often say that you
embellished
a little, or you stretched the truth. Most people embellish a little on their resume. They stretch
resume.
They stretch the truth to make themselves sound better.
That's it. Okay. So I put on my resume that I could speak Japanese, which is a total lie. What is a total lie? Well, there will be the expression I'd like you to use in your sentences. So, Luba, will you give me any example, please? Just a little story, a short story, a short comment in which you would use "it was a total lie." Which was a total lie.
I must think over such a story.
You shouldn't say I must. You say, shall I make up a story? Shall I make up a story?
Okay, shall I make up a story?
It can be an invented story, or it could be an example from your life. It depends. It depends on you, as you wish.
Okay. For instance, yesterday I was walking the street and I have met a Yeti, real Yeti.
If you say yesterday, you should say I met.
I met a real Yeti.
Okay.
He was carrying, he was listening music on, I don't know, on phone, and he was carrying. He was driving a car, a BMW car, something like that. Was I right?
Okay, but you should use in your story that was a total lie. That has been a total lie. But usually, like for example, in our dialect, the guy says, "I put on my resume that I could speak Japanese," which is a total lie. So now you are just lying, telling us that you met a Yeti yesterday in the street. But it's about telling a story. Actually, our class today is about how to tell a story. So you should tell us a story and mention this, which was a total lie, just commenting on something that happened in the past. You see?
No, I don't.
No?
Probably no.
Well, like in this story, for example. Okay, let me explain it. But the example in our podcast. So the guy says, for some reason I put on my resume I put the fact that I could speak Japanese. It was a total lie. It's just a small comment about something you did in the past. So you should use this very expression just to tell to let people know that it was not true. Here in your story, I think there is also a total lie, but you should just say it, you know. So you should use it, pronounce it. So you could say, a few days ago, I told my friend a story about meeting Yeti in the street who was driving a car, listening to music on iPhone. It was a total lie. Just like that.
Now it's clear.
Good.
I
Okay.
was a little bit wrong. Okay, now it's clear.
Great. Good. Let's go further. So next word combination, that sentence. Alexander, will you read it out, please? The first thing.
The first thing he said to me was something in Japanese, which I obviously didn't understand.
So, an explanation, please.
Why does he say obviously?
Obviously.
Obviously.
What does it mean, obviously?
I don't remember.
Who remembers? Could you explain the word? Don't translate it, please. What is obviously? How can we explain it?
Maybe clear.
Clearly, yeah. Okay. It was clear enough to understand. It was obviously clear. What else could you say? Let's look for a definition. Maybe there will be other synonyms. Just a second, please. Definition. So obviously definition of obviously. So easily perceived or understood, quite apparent, easily seen through because of lack of subtlety, transparent. Yeah, transparent also can say. So easy to understand, transparent and clear. So there is obviously. Is it clear now? Is it obvious now? Okay, good. So go on, Alexander, with the explanation, please.
Because the speaker already said that he didn't understand any Japanese, so it is very clear that he didn't understand Japanese. It kind of gives the listener some respect because the speaker knows that the listener is smart enough to already know that.
So that's it. Like if you say obviously, that means that you, the person who are telling a story, respect the listener. You consider the listener quite attentive, and you think that a person is listening carefully to what you are telling. And if you mentioned before that you didn't speak any Japanese, it means that a person who listener, knows that already. So this little word obviously shows kind of respect to a listener. And the example, please, Alexander. The idea, it's not example here, the continuation of explanation. The idea is...
I don't know.
No, come on, read it out, the next one. The idea is that it should be clear after the passage you have read. Alexander?
Passage?
Next passage, please. Yeah, the idea is that it should be...
Okay, the idea is that it should be clear or obvious to the listener. One person could say, I found a wallet with...
Wally.
I found a wallet with $1,000 in it so I obviously kept it.
Kept it. And another person could say,
Another person could say, I found a wallet with $1,000 in it, so I obviously tried to find the owner to give it back.
the owner, yeah? The owner.
The owner. These are obviously different kinds of people.
Okay. What about you? If you found a wallet with $1,000 in it, would you keep it, or would you obviously try to find the owner and give it back? Ludmila, we've got another student. Hello to you. Ludmila, are you with us? Hello. Okay. So if you found a wallet with $1,000 in it, would you keep it, or would you try to find the owner? Luba.
Yes, I will. Because I'm very honest.
I would.
I would, because I'm a very honest person.
Okay, so you would try to find the owner and give it back?
Yeah.
I see. Okay, if you say so. Good. What about you, Alexander? Would you keep it wallet with $1,000, or would you try to find the owner and give it back?
I would try to find the owner
and give the half of the sum of the money. Yeah. Would you keep any money, or would you give all the money back?
I will give all the money back.
Okay, I would. So if I found, I would give.
Okay.
Okay, good. And Mikhail, what about you? You have been smiling, listening to others, so it means that you wouldn't give the wallet back.
Oh, I don't hear this sentence. Maybe.
So the question is, if you found a wallet with $1,000 in it, would you keep it, or would you try to find a person, the owner, and give it?
I keep it. I keep it.
I would keep it. Really? Okay.
Which is totally life.
I'm sorry?
Which is totally life.
Which is totally right.
Life.
Total lie. Okay. Maybe. Who knows? We never know. Well, anyway, there would be kind of a temptation to keep it, $1,000. Okay, but still, to try to find the owner, it's a noble thing to do. Okay, let's go further. Next word combination. Natalia, will you read it out, please? Well-rounded.
Natalia, turn on your microphone. It's on the top of the page. I turn off it. Наверху страницы, когда вы вводите это самое, там есть включить микрофончик. Видите? Не видно. Ну, окей.
It's okay now.
Okay, now could you read out this next word combination? Well-rounded.
Well-rounded. Well-rounded is a term to describe someone who is good at many things. Most employers want to see that you have more than one skill and lead a balanced life.
Balanced life.
You don't just do only one thing. So if you excuse me.
Okay.
So if you are good in school, play sports, and do other hobbies, you are well-rounded. If you just study, you aren't very well-rounded.
So to be well-rounded, is it here the definition? I guess it is. Yeah. Okay. So are you a well-rounded person, Luba?
Me?
Sorry, I'll ask to Luba first. Okay, so Luba, are you a well-rounded person? Do you have many hobbies?
Yes, of course.
You usually put all the information about you in your resume.
Yeah, I try to put only necessary, and I think there are some information, some question about your hobbies, and for example, I will put there that I like do some kind of sports.
Okay.
Yes.
I see. I see. So usually you put some necessary information to be look well-rounded to the employer, right?
Yes.
I see. Okay.
Exactly.
Good. Good. Ludmila, are you with us? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So hello to you, because I asked you the first time question, you didn't reply. So how are you feeling, by the way? Are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay.
Great. So where do you come from?
I'm from Ukraine.
Great. Which city do you come from?
I didn't hear. Sorry.
Which city do you come from?
Dnipropetrovsk.
I see. Okay. Well, the situation out there is really complicated. Is everything calm in the streets?
The situation in our city.
Yeah.
In our city, situation is very normal. So
I see. Okay.
from all of Ukraine, from East Ukraine.
I see. I see. Okay. Okay. Anyway, the situation is really complicated now in Ukraine. Okay. Will you do you have the documents? I sent the link there. So I will send once again, just to click on the link in the right part of the chat and get the file. Now we are reading just vocabulary from the podcast we listened to.
Okay.
So, and scroll it down, go on the second page, please.
Okay.
After the dialogue. Okay? Okay, just to let you follow our conversation. So, and now let's go further. So, the word combination, to be well-rounded, I guess it's rather interesting, isn't it? And we should really be well-rounded to be interesting not only for employers but for other people to talk to share some stuffs. Next word, Alexander, will you read it out, please?
Nauseous.
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 And the explanation, please.
The feeling you get when you are almost going to throw up, sick stomach.
That's it. So it's not a very pleasant feeling when you feel really sick and you are about to throw up. So that's not very good. You can feel it, you can have such a feeling after eating something bad or in a very stressful situation, like our poor guy who put in on his resume that he could speak Japanese, and then the lie was discovered. So, do you ever feel nauseous in a stressful situation, Ludmila? Do you ever feel nauseous in the stressful situation? Have you understood the meaning nauseous?
Nauseous. I try to find in the paper.
Okay, there is second page. You should scroll down.
Yes, I see. The feeling you get when you are almost going to throw up.
So when you feel really sick.
Sick stomach.
So it's, for example, when you are going on bus and you also can feel sick, nauseous. But my question is, if you ever feel nauseous in a stressful situation.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Sometimes the situation where been.
You can say sometimes I get in a situation when I feel nauseous, or sometimes it happens to me.
Yes.
I see. Okay. And what do you usually do to feel better?
I try to relax and breathe more deeper.
Okay, and breathe deeply. I see. Okay, and let's read the last word combination from the podcast. Natalia, will you do that, please?
Next.
The last one, please. What can I?
What can I say?
No.
It's a question. What can I say? It's a question to use when you really have nothing to say. It's a
rhetorical question.
A rhetorical question, meaning that the other person doesn't need to answer you. It's almost like saying, there is nothing for me to say.
Okay, what can I say? So, will you give me any little story, please? And in this story, you would use, what can I say? Luba.
What can I say about what situation?
No, sorry, I'd ask. I'd like to hear Luba tell us a story.
Sorry.
It's okay. Just it was my fault. So
let me think. Let me think.
Let me think. Yeah.
Shall I think out? Yes, again, a story.
Yeah.
Am I right?
That's right. Yeah, kind of a story. It can be an example from life or something invented. Just try to use it. What can I say? Actually, now you can say, what can I say?
It's hard to me. Let I think about it a
okay,
little bit.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, well, I can understand that is a little bit difficult maybe to make up a story because the sentence is kind of obvious. So it's not a idiom or something like that, just an expression widely used in spoken English, in slang language. So what can I say? Well, what could the guy say else but for lying about his typo? So he put on his resume that he could speak Japanese, but their interviewer discovered the lie. So the only thing the guy could say was that it was a typo. What else could he say? He couldn't say anything else. So these are word combinations and slang vocabulary from this podcast. You could use some, like for some reason, or which was a total lie, or obviously a nice word, well-rounded person, also an interesting word combination as for me, and nauseous. To feel nauseous, it is once again a feeling when you feel kind of sick. It can be because of something you ate not very good, or because of some stressful situation. So guys, that will do for today. I hope you there has been something useful for you and you will enrich your vocabulary. Thank you for coming and sharing some opinions about that word combination. I wish you to have a nice end of the evening. Have a nice weekend. I hope you will spend it in a good way. You will meet interesting people. So have some rest and see you next week on Tuesday if you wish. So you're welcome at my classes. Thanks.
Thank you too.
See you later.
It was very interesting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So bye bye.
Bye
Bye bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Good night.
Bye.